Hello, just play it loud. Taavi's here, and we're going to talk about January 2024 albums in this brand new series for this channel. And my fellow co-host is a familiar face around here from the Mariah Carey video. We have Vanessa here. Glad to have you here.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
And yeah, brand new series for this channel, and we have a few topics to discuss here. And I guess in this first episode, we're gonna quickly discuss about our experience with new music in general, and yeah, sort of what you want to say. But basically, I don't typically listen a lot of new music, and one of the reasons for this series is that it would make me check out stuff and sort of force me, even if I'm not like it's my series or ours. And but I'm definitely not against new music, and I feel like every year has its positives and negatives. And um, even if I do have certain biases, perhaps to some eras, but yeah, and I feel like just about this month, I don't think January is usually the best release month of the year. Um, and but I personally found stuff to like, and personally quite skipped a few albums I started, and then I was like, no, I don't think this is gonna be on my list. Um, but yeah, Vanessa, what about you?
So I've always sort of followed new music to differing degrees. Like there in the 2010s, I didn't do as much following because I had kids and I was busy with other things. So I would only hear like probably 5 or 6 new albums a year, maybe if I was lucky. But the
Yeah,
last couple years, I've really dived into listening to new music. So last year, I heard over 400 new releases in 2023, and then like 250 in 2022. So I've really d- dove into this whole process. So this is just kind of a way for me to gather my thoughts each month on the albums that I am listening to. And yeah, like you said, there's always good stuff and there's always bad stuff. And January is a bit of a weaker month traditionally, which makes sense because everything's just kind of getting started for the year. But that doesn't mean that there's not good stuff, as we've found. We've found some good stuff to talk about. So
but yeah, next we have the top five album releases we found in January 2024, and I think our only really rules for this was no compilation albums and archival albums, and well, they can be EPs. I think that's okay, but um, well, we didn't discuss maybe the live side of things, but I certainly don't have any live albums.
no, I
But
don't
if
usually
you,
count them.
yeah, they're kind of tough.
Yeah, I'm not against them and I'll listen to them, but as far as like a best of the year list, they usually don't make it
Yeah,
in my
yeah,
consideration.
yeah, it makes sense. Um, but yeah, starting with my number five was I don't know, I don't know how big of an album this is. I'm guessing not, but it's Acacia, self-titled album from released January 1st, to be honest. And it's like this instrumental album, which feels like almost like a video game soundtrack. Um, it's the genre is called Dungeon Synth. I'm not really sure what's that sort of thing, but it was definitely interesting, and there's like it's kind of cinematic and classical elements perhaps, and ambient too, but it was surprisingly captivating listen with sometimes with if I read the word ambient, I'm usually a bit scared, but I wasn't here, and I definitely enjoyed it, and it's even it's like 46 minutes. I thought it went quite quickly. Number 4 is Star Sign by Ryan Adams. And yeah, Ryan Adams released like 4 or 5 albums in the first day of January, and I don't know what I feel about releasing that many albums the same day, but I actually, what I listened to, I enjoyed. I know his name and I've heard his name, and but I didn't really know his music. This is more like a sort of singer-songwriter. That's maybe some country-ish elements and folky. Um, and yeah, that's just I think it's a good listen, and well, I actually like his voice quite a bit. It's what maybe surprised me the most. Um, and some good songs here. And well, number 3 is another Ryan Adams album, and it's Heatwave, which I found to be more rocking. It's more my style, a bit like mm, maybe there's a bit of that like the garage feel to this album, a bit dirtier maybe. Um, there was quite a bit of songs that I put on my playlist, like Supernatural and True Love and I'm Insane Again, Fifth Avenue, and so on. I'm pretty sure the Star Sign is more liked album, but I personally like the more. It felt bigger to me and like more my cup of tea. But yeah, that's my Ryan Adams albums back to back. And number 2, I have Future Islands, People Who Aren't There Anymore. And well, before this, I just knew the one big song, which I do like, and yeah, I do like this band a lot. I think the vocals are quite. I kind of feel like it's like a happier Morrissey type of thing. Uh, I don't know. The music is very like synth pop, new wave-ish, sort of 80s meets modern sounds, and um, yeah, I love the vocals. Um, Feels to me quite passionate, and uh, the music is fun. Um, it's nothing bad to me here, but maybe not the. I can say it's a great album, but it's definitely a very good one. My number 1 is an album that has like it less than 50 ratings in radio music. Uh, and I found this from my friend Miroslav, if you're watching, hello. And its artist is From Flowers to Flies. We built this machine. It's a sort of this album with many genres to it. It's has kind of a metal feel to it, and it also has like rock and even jazz and um, maybe more indie style too. And yeah, there's longer instrumental parts and even instrumental songs, and then there's just quite a different style of music happening, and I just found it to be the most interesting album I heard this month. Yeah, it's my top 5. What about you, Vanessa?
So actually, I only heard 2 out of the 5 of those. I heard Star Sign and the Future Islands album. Neither of them made my top 5, but they're both in that good category, so they're close. So yeah, good choices. We'll have some variety. So my number 5, I do not know how to say the album title because I'm not really sure if it's really words, but it's by Bill Ryder Jones, And it's like ichi da. I think. So it's kind of like a singer-songwriter album. It's a really gorgeous album. It's a beautiful album, but this I didn't totally connect to it. I still liked it, and I still liked it enough for it to be top five, but it's still like a 3.5 for me just because of that. Like there were so many moments where I was like, oh, this is really beautiful. Like I really like this part or this melody or whatever, but it didn't totally come together to be like a 4-star album or like a favorite, but it's still one of the better things I heard this month. And it kind of is one of those things. Maybe it's a grower. Maybe I need to go back to it and give it another listen, which is entirely possible. It's kind of one of those ones that felt like it was on the edge of something great throughout the album, but just couldn't quite get there. So that's kind of why it ends up at the bottom of the top five. My number 4 is by Ty Segall, and it's Three Bells, which is basically like a double album length for sure, or a 90s album, I guess, because it's over an hour long or it's close to an hour long. But and it is a bit too long. But there are some really cool songs on it that I liked a lot. Quite a few standouts that I saved and enjoyed. And there's some stuff on it as well that didn't grab me as much, but there's some cool guitar throughout the album, no matter what song we're listening to. So even the songs that aren't as captivating as songs have some cool things and cool elements to focus on and enjoy. So yeah, it could have probably been a bit higher if it was a shorter album, more concise with the best parts. It does suffer a bit from the length, but I still thought it was good enough to put here. So we'll see. And again, that could be one that maybe we'd go back to, but hard to say. Now, with my top 3 is where I get to my 4-star albums, the ones that I really like, the ones that are more than likely to go back to. So my number 3 is by Chemtrails, and it's called The Joy of Sects. And it's a very cool album. Like you can kind of see their influences. They remind me a lot of like bossa nova era Pixies a lot of the time. And I do hear little hints of like entertainment era Gang of Four here and there too. But at the same time, I do think they are doing their own thing with it. I'm not saying they're a rehash of those bands. I think you can see that influence, but they're taking that influence and they're making something fresh with it. And it's got this really interesting energy to it. Like the songs are super catchy and it's like almost apocalyptic because there's actually a song called Apocalyptic on it. But so they're definitely going for like a chaotic apocalyptic tone and vibe, but at the same time make it fun, like which sounds really weird, but if you hear it, it makes sense. Like it does really work. It's a really cool album. Then my number 2 is by Cheek Face, and it's called It's Sorted, which seems to be a pretty divisive album among the people we know, at least. It's aspects of it really remind me of Cake, but I think that they, again, like Chemtrails, they're doing their own thing with it. It's super fun, super catchy, super enjoyable throughout. It's quick and breezy, which really helps. They're quirky, but I don't think they're annoying. Like, because there's always a fine line between quirky and annoying, and I think they are on the right side of that line. Personally, some people feel differently, but I definitely felt that they were on the right side of the quirky line. I like their style and the execution of the music, and I think it really works for them. And again, it's fresh and charming, and it just puts a smile on your face. Like I've listened to it a couple times now, and both times it's just like just having a good time. Like it's just under a half hour. It's the perfect length. It's just for what it is. Like for this type of music, they don't overstay their welcome. It's pretty good. But my number 1 is by Katie Kirby, and it's Blue Raspberry. So that's more of like a singer-songwriter kind of thing. I had heard some singles off of this and I liked them. But when I listened to the album, I ended up liking the album even more than I expected to. I expected that I would like it, but I did find that there was a lot of great songs on it that I instantly connected to. I just like the way that she brings you into the album. It's got a lovely, warm sound to it. And it's kind of brings to mind like a hazy summer days, but not necessarily happy ones. Like there's a melancholy to the album, but it's appealing, like it grabs you. So I think that's what puts it just slightly ahead, because Cheek Face and this album are pretty close as far as like how I feel about them, and they're very different albums. But this one just slightly gets ahead just because of that pull it has. And it's got a killer closer with the song Table. Like that was a single ahead of time and I already knew it, but when the context of the album, it just works so well. Like because it's different than the rest of the album in a lot of ways, just in tone and just it's I just think it really ends everything on a high note. So that's my top five.
Yeah, nice list. Yeah, I haven't heard any of those to be honest. Um, I've heard a couple by title, and I started the um, what was it? Chem trials.
Mm.
Chem, what was it? And
Chemtrails, yeah.
yeah, and yeah, I wasn't in the mood for that.
Yeah, I
Vocal
can
kind
see
of
that.
threw me off,
Yeah.
so I
No,
didn't.
it's definitely one that you got to be in the right headspace for sure.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I wanna check out some of those albums still. But next we have the unfortunate dishonorable mention of the year. Sorry, the month. Um, so like the sort of our first album we listened to sort of thing. Um, which is a bit like because I didn't even I started some and just didn't even go through them all and
Yeah.
but I found my first, I guess. And it's a actually EP from early of the month. It's a band is called Dutch Masters. It's Substation My Home, Melancholy, My Bride is the title. And it's
Gosh.
I don't even know why. I just found it on album of the year and just decided to put it on,
Yeah.
even without checking the genres beforehand. And yeah, it's a screamo album, which is definitely
Oh,
interesting.
yeah. Yeah, that
And it
would
says,
be,
yeah, it's a tough one. Very noisy and
yeah.
lo-fi, and um, there's some cool maybe drum and bass elements to it, but it's definitely not my cup of tea that I would like to listen to. But I decided to listen to it because it's an EP. It's not a long
Yeah.
album. Of course, it's maybe one of the best things about it. It's an EP,
Yeah.
so it's like 20 minutes. But yeah, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna ever listen to that again.
No.
Even if I feel kind of bad because I don't think it's like some maybe someone just made it and for fun or
Yeah.
but
Well,
I just decided to listen to it and it
yeah.
was my downfall. But but what's your least favorite of the month?
Well, mine's sort of a similar thing. It was early in the year and I was just listening to things to listen to things. And it was, I think maybe the first week before there was anything that came out that I'd even heard of or that I was, expecting. So this is by someone called Doe Friends. And it's called I Want to Love Again. And all I wrote down was sounds like it's 100 gecs if they were sedated and didn't know what hooks were. So that's about what it was, just a slog. And it was short too. Like I don't think it might have been under a half hour, but it felt like forever. Like it was just
Yeah,
that kind of, well, the 100 gecs with their I don't know that it was necessarily hyper pop itself, but it just kind of reminded me of them, but without the things that make them appealing, basically. So yeah. And again, I don't know the history or anything about this artist or band, or like yours, it could have just been somebody in their bedroom recording it. I don't know, but they might want to work on music a little more if they make some more. I don't know. Yeah, it just wasn't very good. I'll
Oh,
never think about it again, at least.
like it's funny because I don't know some of those albums you had in your top five, and I didn't listen to that album, but I've seen the title somewhere, probably on Album of the Year
Yeah,
website,
probably. I think
and
that's where I got it.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't, yeah, I remember that title, the Doe Friends, but yeah, I didn't listen to it. So maybe it was a good thing.
Yeah. I don't think you would have liked it.
Did you listen to the Green Day album? That was one of
No,
the bigger releases,
no,
I feel
I
like.
did not.
I
There's
did,
actually a
and
lot of bigger ones I didn't get to. I still haven't heard Green Day, actually, which is a big one, but I
mm,
don't like Green Day, so I haven't been motivated to check it out.
yeah, I listened to the Green Day one, and I was pleasantly surprised because I don't listen to a lot of Green Day, but it was heavier than I thought. It was good, even if
Yeah.
there was some lame moments to it,
Yeah.
like ripping off Pink even, but
Yes.
but
Yeah.
yeah, it was actually pretty close to being my top five. So I liked it
Yeah,
enough.
it seems to have gotten a fairly positive reception compared to their
Yeah,
past, but
yeah, compared to like the Father of All
yeah.
album, or what was it? And yeah, but we have our um, sort of last topic of the day is sort of choosing our favorite um, Billboard Hot 100 top 10 song from January, and we decided to not include older songs because first week is basically a lot of Christmas songs
Yeah.
from the 50s, 60s, 80s, so on. And but all semi-recent stuff is available, and there was like I think 14 songs in total we had, and there was a few I was thinking when Ariana Grande released the new single for her next album, and I thought it started well, and then there was some like uh spoken word thing sort of happening, and I was like, nope.
Yeah.
But it's still one of the better songs here.
Yeah.
It's quite sad. But almost went with Taylor Swift, and I kind of like Taylor Swift. I didn't pick that one either. I went with Zach Bryan featuring Casey Musgraves. I remember everything. Which I thought after like I listened to this in like a sort of I don't know chronological order when they appeared on the chart. And so it was after like Tate McRae and Doja Cat, which I didn't like either.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was a breath of fresh air to me, especially after those. Um, it felt like the human element is here, sort of. And I actually like Jack Bryan's voice. This is probably the first song I've heard from him, even if I've seen that name before and
Hmm.
that cover even. And it's sort of like uh country-ish, I guess. But singer-songwriter type of thing. But I don't find his vocals to be like sort of stereotypical country voice, even if there's a bit of something like when he says some words. But I kind of like the it starts with Zach Bryan only, and then it's Casey Musgraves, and then they sing together. Actually really like when they sang together. Um, I've, I don't think I totally cared for Casey's voice alone, but when she did with that duet, I thought it worked pretty well together. And yeah, I actually quite enjoyed the song, and it, but I don't think the competition was very. Very good. Sadly.
No.
But yeah, that's my pick.
So, unfortunately, I have to give Taylor another win because she's always winning, but that was pretty easily the best song for me on this crop of songs. Because to
Hmm.
me, it's the most memorable song. A lot of these are just not even memorable. I've heard that Ariana Grande song at least 3 times. I don't remember it, how it goes when it's over. Um, I'm not big on Zach Bryan, but it's close. That was probably the second best song, but there's something about him I'm not buying. So it just didn't quite go to the top for me, but definitely better than like 99% of the rest of it. But yeah, the Taylor Swift song, it's unfortunate because it's an older song, so it's annoying that it's not a newer song. It's like 5 years old, but
Hmm.
it is like as a song the most memorable song, and I wouldn't choose to listen to it on my own necessarily. I'm really tired of Taylor Swift. I don't dislike her necessarily, but I'm just really tired of the whole Taylor Swift hype machine type thing. But I can't deny that this is to me the best song there. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're definitely my top two, easily. I like some songs from like um I forgot I never remember how to say the Kill Bill artist. The
oh,
Sasa.
SZA, yeah,
Sisa.
that yeah, she has had some good songs. I don't think that one is one of her best though. I
Yeah,
just kind of
no.
in one ear and out the other,
Yeah,
unfortunately. But yeah,
yeah.
that in the upper tier still of because like the what was it? Was it 21 Savage had 2 songs?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, those were just and
Yeah,
like
I don't like them.
and the Doja Cat, I mean, she kind of does the same thing all the time. If she,
Yeah.
unless she's doing a pop song, she's done some pop songs that were better, but when she's doing like the full mode rap thing, I don't know. Not that I have anything against rap like at all. I'm not saying that, but I
Mm,
don't find her particularly compelling when she's in that style. So, um
no.
yeah, and like just the McRae song is just about as interesting as a wet paper bag, and like it's just a very unfortunate crop of, I think, leftovers from last year basically. So I think as the year goes
Mm.
on, hopefully, because that Morgan Wallen song has been on there forever, and
Oh
that
yeah, last night,
because that
yeah.
was like one of the highest weeks at #1 ever, I think. Like it's pretty high up
Oh,
there.
oh.
At least definitely last year, but it was like in double digits, which it's such a nothing song. Like there's nothing to it. It's like, and I don't think I've ever heard it anywhere. Like when there have been other big dominating #1 songs
Mm,
like that, you hear them everywhere. But that one, it's
yeah.
just like it's so anonymous, but yet he's huge. So I guess maybe I'll ruffle some feathers by saying that, but whatever.
Yeah, maybe hear it in like States. I don't know. It must
Maybe.
be somewhere.
Yeah, well, yeah, somebody's listening to it, obviously. Not us, but somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the number one has mostly been in January has been the Jack Harlow song, I
Oh
think.
gosh, yes, I forgot about he is horrible. I don't know how, like, I don't even know how that is even a hit. Like that song was probably one of the worst ones there. Like I couldn't even believe what I was listening to. I was just like, this guy sucks. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I don't think it's the weakest for me, but it's definitely not closest to number one
Yeah, no,
spot.
brutal. Anyway,
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, Jack Bryan and Taylor Swift won, and I'm happy with either one winning,
yeah.
to be honest. This was our list. We want to see your list in the comments down below, and I want to thank you, Vanessa, again,
Thank you, Taavi.
and we're gonna do this again month in like maybe early March. And but yeah, thank you for watching and have a great day. Bye bye.